North American parents spend between $5 and $8 on food for their child's lunch every single day. Don't think that's too bad? Well, let's add that up. If you're a parent, that means you're spending between $25 and $40 on school lunches for your child every single week, or roughly between $900 and $1,500 per school year. If you have, say, 3 kids, that's an average of over $3,000 per school year you are spending on lunches. In this video, I'm going to show you how our family spends only a fraction of that amount to give our kids healthy, creative lunches every single day. I'll also show you how spending less on your child's lunch is not only cheaper, but it ends up being more nutritious and a whole lot better for our environment. Want to know how? Keep watching! Hey there, I'm Jen Least, and welcome to this week's iteration on Living on Less in Canada. I do see expenditures on school lunches as being something that's really important to discuss. A little bit of a backstory: when I went to university, I paid my way through school by working as an educational assistant for the local school board. So in that position, I saw a lot of school lunches, a lot of different lunches for kids. And there was one thing that was so surprising that came up again and again and again. And that was this: what socioeconomic background do you think people came from who spent the most on their child's lunches? You would think it would be wealthy people, right? Wrong! I noticed the exact opposite of that. If you ask any teacher, they'll probably tell you the same thing. There was this trend that the lowest income families seemed to be sending the highest cost lunch for their kids. Their lunches were full of Lunchables, prepackaged food, pops, juices, Kool-Aid jammers. And this struck me as so very odd. I mean, if you're struggling financially, why would you be going so overboard spending money on your child's lunches? Well, I came to this conclusion. I truly believe that all it comes down to is a simple need for parents to become more educated and more informed about how to pack a healthy, cheap lunch for their kids. I think a lot of these families just didn't maybe have that knowledge to know what choices to make, to know that there were other options out there besides these prepackaged foods. And I think that if more families were shown a different way of doing things, and they could clearly see the data on how much better it is for your child, I think more people would make the switch. Totally more people would make the switch to what I'm about to describe to you today, which is how our family does school lunches. So in this video, I'm going to take you through step by step the cost-saving measures our family uses. I basically have 6 main steps or ideas, if you will, and I really hope whoever out there is watching, even if you're not a parent with kids, even if you're just packing lunch for yourself for work, I truly hope you can get something out of this video, get some ideas out of it, and hopefully you can pass this video along to anybody you know who is maybe struggling in this area or wants some more ideas and tips. All right, here we go with those steps. Okay, step number 1 is the beverage. If you have not already, and I feel like I shouldn't even be saying this step because doesn't everybody already do this? But no, you'd be surprised how many don't. If you do not already have some sort of a reusable water bottle for yourself, for your child, go out and buy one. These make excellent Christmas gifts, birthday gifts if money is tight. And what you are going to do every day for lunch is fill that water bottle with water. Period. That's it. That is it for beverage, and that child can refill it as many times as they want at their school water fountains. The important part of this step is that you do not add, like flavored crystals to the water, because that's going to cost you money and it makes a sticky mess at school. Do not buy juice boxes for your kids, or Kool-Aid jammers, or Gatorade bottles. There are so many studies out there that it's ridiculous. I wouldn't even be able to list them all, of pediatricians saying the healthiest beverage for a child once they have been weaned off of breast milk is water. Water. That's it, nothing added to it. Round our house, we drink water for breakfast. We drink water for lunch. We drink water for supper. Again, once they have come out of the weaning stage and they're at kind of age 2 or 3, you don't need to be supplementing your child with milk as a beverage. They should be getting their calories from food and not what they drink. Maybe your kid is already addicted to these drinks. Believe me, it literally takes 2 weeks to get them off of this. I know this because I was a foster parent and I'm an adoptive parent, and every single child who went through our home was addicted to juice when they got here and sugary drinks, and they were non-addicted in about 2 weeks. So it doesn't take much time. Start the change this year. Commit to that change this year of only water for your kids in their lunches. It's not only healthier, it's the cheapest option. It is absolutely free. Step number 2, I want you to rethink pre-packaged foods. Okay, don't get me started on this topic, but when I was an EA, it was so frustrating to see children open up their lunches and the amount of Joe Louis, Flakies, Fruit by the Foots, Bear Paws, Dunkaroos, sugary granola bars. It's astounding. We all know that stuff is full of preservatives and sugar, and it's refined and not good for our kids at all. So why are we sending them with our kids? Well, I can tell you right now why parents do it. It's because it's convenient. It's because it's easier. It's because parents, and especially moms, are super stressed out, and it's way easier to buy a jumbo box full of something that their kids can just grab from the cupboard than it is for somebody in the home to make that stuff homemade. But right now I want to say to you, if you're in a tight spot financially, making things homemade at home is one of the easiest things you can do to save money on your child's lunches. At our home, there are 8 of us, and it only takes about 1 hour a week to make some of those side extras for lunches. Whether that's zucchini or banana muffins, homemade granola, oatmeal raisin cookies, blueberry crumb bars. It takes about 1 hour. And no, mom does not have to be the one who is in charge of making these homemade extras. She can if she wants to and if she has the time, but if you're in a home where mom is working full time and run off her feet, and that's why these convenience extras are being brought into the home, there is nothing wrong with saying, Dad, you're in charge of this chore, or teens and tweens, you're in charge of this chore. My kids do a lot of the baking now in our home, now that they're getting older. My husband also can do the baking. It's not that hard to read a recipe. It's not that hard to practice and get good at it. So really it comes down to whoever has time that week. Sometimes we'll do batch baking and we'll spend several hours one Saturday and get enough baking done and popped into the freezer for the whole next month. So I just have containers that are full of muffins or cookies that when they pack their lunch, they just go to the freezer, pull out a muffin, and there they go. We send our muffins and cookies and bars and that sort of thing in reusable containers instead of putting them in plastic wrap. Once you get into a pattern of doing this for your family, of saying no to prepackaged foods, you're going to be astounded at how much your grocery bill decreases. And you're gonna be excited about how your kids, suddenly these prepackaged extras are more so a treat for like Halloween, or if you're going on a vacation road trip, maybe you'll pick up some of those special things. And it's no longer an everyday expectation that your kids have to have. Step number 3 is to keep a master list of meal ideas for school lunches, and always keep the ingredients from this master list on hand so that you're never out of things and being tempted to buy last minute super convenient stuff for your children's lunches. It stops impulse buys. Having all those things on hand definitely helps your kids when they are learning to pack their own lunches too. So in our home, all of our kids know that there are 6 components to their lunch that have to be there every single day, that either they pack it or us as parents pack it for the littles. Number 1 is they need some sort of a carb, like a bread, tortilla, a bun, crackers. The second thing is a non-nut protein. If you are in a Canadian school, I'm pretty sure every single school in Canada now is nut-free. So we always have on hand lunch meat, cheese, hard-boiled eggs, canned tuna, that sort of thing. A variety of different proteins. And they need to choose one for their lunch every day. Number 3 is a variety of fruits. Whatever fruits are on sale that week is what we have in our home. Apples, oranges, bananas, grapes, cherries, kiwi, melon, you name it. The 4th component is veggies. Guys, it's also very shocking how few children pack veggies in their lunches. You may say, my kids hate veggies, they won't eat them. If you pack them every single day in your child's lunch, they're gonna get used to eating them. And if they don't have all of those extras in their lunch, they're gonna be hungry and they're gonna eat the veggies because they're still hungry and that's what's left in their lunch. So every week I have on hand carrots, celery, cucumber, cherry tomatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, sweet peppers, just a large variety of veggies. And every single day, they choose one. The fifth component is the extra. So this is where our home baking comes in hand. They can either choose a muffin or a few homemade cookies or perhaps some yogurt, maybe a bit of granola or banana loaf. Whatever it is, they get one extra. And the sixth component is water. They must pack their water every single day. By sticking to a master list, I find this really ensures that my children get all the nutrients they need in their lunch, and they're also not packing way too much. This is also a common problem in children's lunches. You go into the kindergarten classroom and some of the kids are eating like maybe a third of their lunch because they just have way too much packed. They've got a sandwich, but they also have crackers and pretzels, and they've got 2 types of fruit, 3 types of vegetables. Like, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. There's gonna be less waste and it's gonna cost you less money. Step number 4 is to buy foods whole. For example, if you're going to buy carrots for your child's lunch, if you buy whole carrots that you have to peel and slice yourself, or your child peels and slices themselves, the whole carrots that you peel and slice yourself are about 99 cents per pound. Baby carrots that are ready to go are about $1.99 per pound. So if you're wanting to save some money, consider stuff like that. Don't get the bagged lettuce for salads, just buy a whole head of lettuce. Do not fall for the trap of the pre-sliced apples that are just like sitting in lemon juice or whatever it is. Just buy an apple, send a whole apple in your child's lunch and let them eat that whole apple. You're gonna save a ton by doing that. Step 5 is to buy the components for lunches in bulk and transfer them to smaller containers. So take this big tub of yogurt, for example. So this tub always costs me around $1.99. Sometimes it goes on sale for like 99 cents, usually $1.99. And then my kids simply take a reusable container, pack themselves a spoon, and it's a whole lot cheaper than packing yogurt tubes or the little individual yogurt cups. Not only is it cheaper, it's so much better for our environment because it's way less waste. Same thing is true for applesauce. Instead of buying little tubs of applesauce, get a big tub, have them put it in a little container that they reuse over and over again. An even cheaper way is to make homemade applesauce like we often do once a year and just store it in really big jars or containers in your freezer. On this topic, I would honestly like to know, why are y'all buying rubber cheese that comes in a whole bunch of plastic wrap for your children? It's expensive. It doesn't taste all that good, and you could totally just buy a big bar of cheese for $3.88 on sale and slice up marble cheese for your child. Save yourself some money. Buy things in bulk and separate them out into individual servings yourself. Step number 6 is to shop smarter. So first of all, you're gonna look for the sales. So I do have a whole nother video on this, so I'm not gonna go into it here, but I will link that video for you, all about how our family saves hundreds of dollars a month just by shopping sales, switching grocery stores, being smart about what we buy and at what price. And this can save you a whole lot of money on your kids' school lunches. The other thing to consider is couponing. So a lot of things that would go into your child's lunch can be bought with a coupon, can be bought in bulk and stored in the cupboard. I have another video all about couponing, so actually a whole playlist, so I will link that for you if you're interested in learning more about it, because again, this is gonna shave a whole lot of money off your costs. So by combining these 6 tips in our home, I figure we spend between $1 and $2 per child on school lunches every day. So for our 6 children, we would spend about the same amount on school lunches as other families spend that only have 1 or 2 children. And I'm actually really thankful that our kids, I don't know if this is fluke or not, they're not real picky eaters. Maybe it's just because of the way we do things at home. We're coming from a big family. But they do now, after years of doing this, migrate towards the nutritious whole foods instead of kind of that pre-packaged unhealthy stuff. So sometimes the pain to get started in this process, but once you commit to it and you just keep going, you're gonna be amazed at not only how much money you save, but how much healthier your children are. So this video was all about parents making kids' school lunches, but I do have a video I am planning coming up all about us adults and how we can save on our lunches, whether we're staying at home during the day or we are going out to work. I'm planning a video with lots of creative tips and ideas for adult lunches. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification if you haven't already so that you're notified every time my videos come out, which right now is twice a week, every single Monday and Thursday. And now it is your turn. Comment below with your ideas for saving on lunches. Do you have some like creative hacks that I haven't mentioned here? I'd love to hear them so I can implement them in our own home. Or maybe this is something you struggle with and you just have questions, you want advice and how-tos. As I've mentioned already, through our years of fostering and adoption, we do have quite a bit of experience on weaning children off of a really unhealthy diet. So if you have questions on that, pop that in the comments below. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. For the least, this is Jen.